Cat Podcast: Why Humans Obsess Over Money Instead of Just Napping. Listen carefully, because I'm about to reveal why your cat has been silently judging your entire financial strategy, and by the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what your cat thinks you're doing wrong with your life. Stay with me, because this secret involves something far more disturbing than just poor time management. If you've ever wondered why your cat watches you with such visible disappointment, now's your moment. Before we go deeper, if you're catching this video and you've noticed your own cat giving you that exact look, that expression of profound judgment, I'd genuinely love to hear about it in the comments. Tell me what your cat was doing the moment it realized you were wasting another 8 hours of daylight. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, because we're exploring feline philosophy every week. And frankly, your cat already thinks you should be listening. Here's what my colleague, a particularly wise Bengal named Marcus, explained to me last Thursday while I was pretending to work. Humans have completely inverted the purpose of money. You think money exists to buy things. Wrong. Money, according to the feline worldview, exists as a distraction device, a way to avoid confronting the actual problem. You're terrified of stillness. Wait, this part is absolutely crucial, so I need your full attention for a second. The deeper mechanics of why humans prioritize accumulation over rest, the psychological patterns that trap you in this cycle, and the ancient feline counter-philosophy to it all. That's explained in extraordinary detail in our complete guide available in the description and pinned to the top comment. This isn't just surface-level observation. It's a full framework that shows you exactly how your cat decodes human behavior. That guide goes places this podcast can't reach. Now, Marcus pointed out something that initially seemed absurd. When humans earn money, they don't actually stop working. They just work differently. You earn a paycheck, and immediately your mind generates new problems that require more money. It's a self-perpetuating anxiety machine. A cat, by contrast, has solved this. You catch one bird. You eat. You're satisfied. Done. But you see a human with significant wealth, and somehow that human is more stressed than the one with modest means. The mechanism is actually quite simple. Your cat understands resource allocation. You don't. A cat knows exactly how much food it needs. Approximately. Cats are flexible, but you've been taught that more is always better, that scarcity is coming, that you must accumulate endlessly as insurance against a future that will probably never arrive in the form you're dreading. Your cat watches this and sees pure dysfunction. Because, from a feline perspective, the anxiety about money isn't caused by lacking money. It's caused by the belief that you're never allowed to stop acquiring it. And so you've built an entire civilization around an activity that's specifically designed to prevent you from resting. Marcus was quite emphatic about this part. He said humans have confused the symbol with the substance. Money is paper and numbers, it's symbolic, but humans treat it as though it's more real than the actual time you're spending. You'll trade 2 hours of your life, hours you could never recover, for numbers on a screen that don't even physically exist, not paper. Digital representations of nothing. Your cat has never made this mistake. Your cat knows that time is the only currency that matters. You can't earn more of it, you can't purchase additional hours, and yet you're spending decades generating money as if it could somehow be converted back into living. It can't. This is where the feline perspective becomes almost spiritual, though Marcus would probably reject that word. Your cat sees money as the thing you've chosen instead of life, and the most disturbing part, from a cat's viewpoint, is that you don't even seem aware you're making that trade. You come home, speak with frustration about your day, complain about your work, and then ask why you can't stop working. The answer is already inside you. Your cat has already solved the riddle that takes humans a lifetime to ignore. Money isn't the problem. The problem is that you've built your entire identity around acquiring it. You wake up thinking about money. You spend 8 hours at a place you don't enjoy, thinking about money. You come home, and even though you're physically present, you're mentally calculating money. You scroll through your phone looking at other people's money. You make financial decisions about purchases you don't actually want because you're afraid of not having enough money. Your cat watches this cycle and concludes you're trapped in something you've voluntarily constructed. Listen, from the feline perspective, this is madness. Pure madness. You've created a system where the thing you need most, rest, presence, joy in the moment, is positioned as a luxury you can only afford after you've exhausted yourself earning the money to pay for it. And that's assuming you ever actually reach that point. Most humans don't. They reach retirement age and discover they're too worn down to enjoy the freedom they supposedly purchased with decades of their lives. Your cat finds this arrangement bewildering because it reveals a fundamental misunderstanding about what you're actually doing. You think you're working for survival. You think you need the money to exist, but your cat sees something different. Your cat sees you working to maintain an image, to keep up with expectations, to prove something to people who probably aren't paying attention anyway. The survival part, food, shelter, safety, those are real. But somewhere along the way, the goalposts moved. Now you're working for things that don't actually make you happy. You're working to afford the apartment in the expensive neighborhood so you can impress people you don't like. You're working to buy the car that costs too much so you can sit in traffic feeling stressed. You're working to purchase experiences you document instead of actually experiencing. Your cat's job, the one cats have perfected over thousands of years, costs nothing. It generates no income. It requires no qualifications, no resume, no interview process. And yet it delivers everything humans say they want: contentment, peace, freedom from anxiety, time to think, space to simply exist without performing for anyone. Your cat does this for free every single day and somehow has managed to be happier than most humans you know. Before we continue, I need you to pause here for a second. This is the pattern that most people completely miss when they think about feline wisdom, and it's why I put together the complete guide on this topic. That guide breaks down exactly how cats construct their priorities differently than humans, what the neuroscience says about why this works, and most importantly, the specific shifts in perspective that let you actually apply this to your own life without quitting your job tomorrow. If you want to understand the mechanics of how your cat is making these decisions so effectively, that guide is available in the description and pinned in the comments. It goes much deeper into the psychology and behavior patterns than we can cover here. This is where your cat's logic becomes almost cutting. You bring home something expensive, something you researched, saved for, purchased as a reward for your hard work. Your cat sniffs it, walks away, and spends the rest of the week sitting in the box it came in. This isn't stupidity. This isn't a cat being ungrateful. This is a cat demonstrating complete clarity about what actually produces satisfaction. The thing cost $300, the box cost nothing, your cat knows which one is better. Humans, meanwhile, have built an entire economy around convincing you that the opposite is true. You've been taught that more expensive means better, that newer means improved, that accumulation equals success. Your cat was never taught this, which is why your cat remains immune to it. Your cat will never suffer from upgrade culture. Your cat will never feel inadequate because someone else has a better version of something. Your cat will never spend money to fix an unhappiness that isn't actually caused by needing more money. This distinction matters because it reveals why you can't simply earn your way out of financial stress. The problem isn't the amount you make. Humans making six figures suffer the same anxiety as those making 60,000. You can double your income tomorrow, and within 6 months, your expenses will expand to match it. You'll find new things you suddenly need. You'll compare yourself to people making even more. The goalpost moves, like it always does. Your cat doesn't play this game because your cat has already accepted something you're still resisting. Enough is not a number. Enough is a feeling. And that feeling comes from alignment between what you have and what you actually value. Your cat will disrupt your work without guilt. Your cat will demand attention without apology. Your cat will insist on priorities that don't include your job performance or your financial status. And the fascinating part, your cat never apologizes for this. Your cat has decided, completely and without hesitation, that the human sitting at the computer needs help from the cat right now, and that matters more than whatever the screen is displaying. Your cat is probably correct. Humans accumulate things, objects, status symbols, financial statements that grow longer and more complex each year. Your cat accumulates experiences, a sunny spot at 3 in the afternoon, the exact texture of your lap when you finally sit down, the sound of the can opener. These are the real currencies in your cat's economy, and they cost nothing. Here's what separates your cat from your bank account. Your bank account grows, but you don't feel richer. Your cat feels rich every single day. You know why? Because richness isn't measured in the number of zeros on a statement. Your cat learned this before you learned to read. Richness is measured in the quality of the moment you're currently in. You buy things to fill a gap. Your cat fills gaps with presence. You work extra hours to afford something that will sit in a closet. Your cat spends those same hours sleeping exactly where it matters most, which is wherever it decides matters most. The difference is your cat never doubts the decision. Before we continue, I need you to pause on something specific. You've probably noticed throughout this conversation that cats have something humans desperately chase but rarely catch. It's not laziness, it's not ignorance, it's certainty. Complete, unwavering certainty about what matters right now. And that certainty is the actual foundation of everything we've been discussing. If you want to understand the deeper mechanisms of how this all connects, how cats have cracked the code that humans are still struggling with, the full guide to cat logic and human financial anxiety is waiting for you in the description. This is the deep dive where we break down exactly why your brain keeps pushing for more, how your cat's brain rejects that entirely, and what the actual science says about why one of you is statistically happier. The ebook covers the signals, the patterns, the biological differences that make this possible. It's the complete framework, not just the podcast moments. Your cat owns nothing and possesses everything. That box? More valuable than the toy that came in it. That spot on the floor where the afternoon light hits at exactly 4 o'clock? Worth more than anything in the house that cost actual money. Your cat didn't learn economics from a textbook. Your cat learned it from living. Humans are forward-facing creatures. You're always thinking about next month, next year, next decade, mortgages, retirement funds, college savings. Your timeline extends into a future that hasn't happened yet, and most of your decision-making happens in that imaginary future instead of in the moment you're actually living through. Your cat is radically present. Your cat doesn't care about tomorrow's dinner. Your cat cares about today's dinner. The distinction seems small until you realize it's the entire difference between anxiety and peace. You work today to pay for something 3 months from now. Your cat eats today because it's hungry today. One of you is constantly borrowing stress from the future. The other is completely free of that burden. The money thing works like this. You earn it, you keep it, you worry about keeping it, you worry about losing it, you worry about not having enough of it, you work more to get more of it, and then you die. Your cat doesn't participate in any step of that cycle. Your cat sleeps through the entire process and somehow ends up happier on the other side. You could argue that your cat has the luxury of not worrying because you handle the worrying. You provide the house, the food, the safety. And you're right, that's exactly the point. Your cat recognized early on that you were willing to carry that burden, so your cat stopped carrying it. Not because your cat is selfish, because your cat understood something fundamental about efficiency. One person carrying the weight is better than both people carrying it. Your cat accepted your generosity and then immediately moved on to the business of actually enjoying the life that your worry made possible. That's the transaction. You handle the money stress, your cat handles the living part. And this is the secret I promised you at the beginning. The reason your cat doesn't obsess over money isn't because your cat is lazy or lacks ambition. Your cat has already solved the equation that humans are still struggling with. Your cat figured out that obsessing over the future steals the present. That worrying about scarcity prevents you from experiencing abundance even when abundance is right there in front of you. Humans spend decades accumulating money, possessions, achievements, credentials. You believe that once you have enough, you'll finally relax. Once you reach that number, once you buy that thing, once you get that promotion, then you can breathe, then you can enjoy yourself, then you can start living. Your cat knows something different. Your cat knows that the relaxation happens now, the enjoyment happens now, the living happens now. Your cat isn't waiting for the future to be good. Your cat is making the present good, right now, with whatever is available. Notice the pattern. When you finally save enough money to take a vacation, you spend the first day of that vacation still thinking about work. By day 2, you're checking emails. You've taken the vacation, but you haven't taken the vacation. Your mind is still at the office, still worried, still calculating. Meanwhile, your cat went to sleep in a sunbeam this morning and woke up in that exact sunbeam 8 hours later, and those 8 hours were perfect. Your cat didn't spend the first 2 hours of sleep worried that the sunbeam might disappear, didn't stress that tomorrow there might not be another sunbeam, didn't wake up at 4 in the morning in a panic about sunbeam security. Your cat simply arrived, settled in, and was fully present for the entire experience. Humans call this irresponsibility, laziness, a lack of foresight. Your cat calls it life. The irony is that your cat has actually solved the money problem better than you have. Your cat isn't broke. Your cat isn't struggling. Your cat has food, shelter, warmth, and entertainment. Your cat has everything that money is supposed to buy. The difference is that your cat got there by accepting help, rather than by killing yourself trying to earn it all independently. Your cat understood that security doesn't come from hoarding resources. It comes from maintaining relationships. Your cat showed up, was affectionate enough to be worth keeping around, and then let you do the heavy lifting. Your cat has you. And because your cat has you, your cat doesn't need to have money. You, on the other hand, are convinced that you need to have the money before you can let yourself depend on anything. So you keep working, keep stressing, keep postponing the actual living until the financial situation is stable enough to feel safe. Here's the challenge. This week, try something, just once. Try to do what your cat does every single day. Pick 1 hour. One single hour where you're going to stop thinking about what needs to happen next. Stop calculating what you're saving for. Stop worrying about whether your current money situation is enough. Just be present in that hour. Eat something without thinking about the cost. Rest without feeling guilty about productivity. Look around and notice what's actually good right now. Your cat does this all day, every single day. Your cat isn't enlightened. Your cat isn't special. Your cat just decided early on that the present moment was worth more than the hypothetical future you might eventually have if you just sacrifice enough right now. Your cat was right. Thanks for watching this far. If you're starting to suspect that your cat might actually be smarter than you about the way to live, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where we explore even more of the catastrophic mistakes you're making compared to your cat. Drop a comment and tell me what your cat does that makes you jealous. And please, turn on those notifications so you catch every new episode the moment it drops. Your cat would want you to make better choices.